This episode is sponsored by Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. June's featured entertainment includes Ace Frehley on the 15th and Elle King on the 21st. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. The Chuck Brown Band is ringing in Father's Day and Juneteenth with a special concert tomorrow at Watkins Regional Park in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I spoke with Wiley Brown, son of the godfather of go-go Chuck Brown, about carrying on his dad's legacy. Hey, Wiley Brown. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on WTOP in Washington, D.C.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, of course. The son of Chuck Brown. You're leading the Chuck Brown Band these days. You're going to be doing a really special a Juneteenth concert. Well, it's not on Juneteenth, but in the run up to it. It'll be this Saturday. It'll be this Saturday, June 15th, at Watkins Regional Park in Upper Marlboro from 12 to 5 p.m. It's great to get to actually talk to you. I think we've been following each other on social media for a little bit, but it's nice to put a voice with the Instagram.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely excited about this one coming up for the Juneteenth celebration on Saturday, June 15th at Watkins Park, man. We're definitely looking forward to having a good old time outside, in the sun and getting our party on for sure.
Absolutely. How many years have you done this? Is this the first time playing it?
Well, this would be my first time performing at Watkins Park with the band. So I know my father, he probably did it years ago plenty of times, but this would be my first time performing with the band and all. And I know, this is definitely historic park in the area. And we definitely looking forward to, bringing the people some good summertime vibes,
Absolutely. And do you know who else on the set list with you? I mean, I have the list, but it's better if you say it. If you know them. If not, I can read it.
Yeah, so we'll also have Trouble Funk, great time go-go band in the area led by Big Tony, and they got some hits of their own. And then also you have Luther Relives tribute and Brincore All Stars. Definitely have a visual art exhibition featuring Jeffrey Felton Green. Arts and activities, arts on the roll, and it's going to be historic history activity highlighting Sankofa Mobile Museum, and food vendors. It's going to be good family time vibes. I'm sure they'll have things out there for the kids and the grandmas. So I'm
fun
looking
for all ages.
Yeah, fun for all ages. Bring the tent, bring your chairs, bring whatever you need to make sure that you have a good time yourself. It might be hot out there, so bring your fans with your spritzers and all. So,
come dance to some go-go while you're spritzing yourself.
Yeah, cool yourself off dancing to some go-go. Ain't nothing like it.
You were like, is that someone's sweat fly on me or is that spritzing? I can't tell.
You never know. You never know with the summertime, but we looking forward to having a good old time, man. I'm excited, now lead vocalist for the Chuck Brown Band, and the band is getting tighter every show that we've been doing, and looking forward to this one this Saturday. So I'm excited about it. It's like a new energy that is in the air, and everyone can tell that we're moving forward, and progressing, and just having fun with every show.
That's awesome. And you mentioned the phrase summertime vibes. Isn't that the title of your all with you and the Chuck Brown Bands? Didn't you just put out a new single, Summertime?
So We do have a song called "Summertime," and you all can check it out on all platforms, as well as the video. I had my nieces and nephews in the video, and they every time they see me, they get excited. They say, "Uncle Wally, when we going to do another summertime video?"
Not to
So,
be confused with Will
yeah,
Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
yeah,
That
yeah. Not
summertime,
to
a
be
different
confused
one.
with that. Yeah, it's different song,
Yeah.
but
Although that one
definitely good.
really, wait for it, that one really slaps.
Yes, yes, it does. That
Sorry, that Will Smith, Chris Rock
yeah,
joke there.
I definitely, yeah, that song, you gotta love that song. But my version of my summertime, is definitely,
Yeah.
a good one you all should check out sometime.
Awesome, definitely. And real quick, and speak to the occasion too. We've
Mhm.
talked about the lineup, and Trouble Funk's great. They've called in before too, and Luther relives.
Mhm.
Everyone loves Luther Vandross. So the lineup's great, but and all the art exhibits, food trucks, everything you said. But what about the
Mhm.
Juneteenth? The time. Talk about why it's just an important history to celebrate.
Yeah, of course, Juneteenth is celebrating commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States, and is definitely important to make sure that we come out and celebrate what happened to be a big day in forward progression of this nation. So definitely come on out, man. Everybody's welcome to come on and have a good time. Enjoy the music, get some food, bring the family out. And it's nothing like, you know, uh listening to some go-go music in the summertime, under the sun. Cool yourself off, kick your feet up, do what you need to do to make sure that you bring yourself and your family out to have a good old time, man. Because that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn the party up.
Absolutely. It's a month before, a couple weeks before the 4th of July, all those parties. It is
Mhm.
a real meaning of actual Independence Day,
Mhm.
where everybody got to be independent finally when the
Yes,
last
yes.
slaves were finally freed. And I guess it was
Hmm.
Texas. They had at a later date than the end of the Civil War. It took a little while longer in there. So that's what
Hmm.
we're celebrating, baby. Um,
Yeah.
get the summer started with the party here.
Hey,
Um,
there's no better way than to start with the Chuck Brown band.
That's for sure. Well, whenever I usually have someone on, I like to, we tease whatever event they got going on, which we just did, and then I like to
Hmm.
paint their history of, remind everyone where you grew up and all that stuff. But I really can't
Hmm.
with you. I really can't do that without also sort of going into your dad's history because it is the Chuck
Yeah,
Brown band.
don't
So
absolutely.
let's I'm gonna sort of double back and remind folks, if you don't mind, a couple questions about your
Hmm.
dad, and then we'll wrap it around to where you come in, because I know you started performing with him when you were like a little kid. But let's do a little bit of
Yeah.
your dad's history too. So I know he was born in
Hmm.
what, Carolina in '36, but moved to DC at age 6. And there's a whole backstory. We're not even gonna get into
Hmm.
all of that, living in the streets, debt to the society, all that stuff. But when did he
Hmm.
find music? When did he find, was that after he got out,
Hmm.
right?
Well, no. So he was always singing with my grandmother,
Yeah.
in the church and all, early on since he was 7 and playing a piano in the church. But then, as he got older, he started singing more and doing more. But the pivotal moment for him was, in 20 when he was 24 years old. During time when he was incarcerated. He learned how to play the guitar, and once he learned how to play the guitar, and after he got out, it was no looking back after that. He ended up performing in different people's backyards because he couldn't perform in clubs at the time. And then when he was able to perform in clubs, he started his own band after being with the Earls of Rhythm and Los Latinos for a little bit. He had the insight and the drive to want to create his own band. He created his own band, the Soul Searchers, in the late '60s, early '70s,
Yeah.
and after that, he had a hit song, "Blow Your Whistle," "We the People,"
Yeah.
and then "Bustin' Loose" came in and hit everybody. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that first album was called We the People in 72. And then
Mhm.
what? Salt of the Earth was the second one. And some of
Yeah,
those
Salt
early
of the Earth.
songs that you mentioned. But yeah, I guess that
Yeah, even with Salt of the Earth, some of his songs is some of the most pivotal songs in hip hop to this day, which is Ashley's Roach Clip is one of the most sampled songs in hip hop. And
yeah.
then moving forward to Bustin' Loose, man, that was the one that really
What
set the
is a
whole
roach
thing
clip?
off.
What is that song title, by the way? What is I always wanted to know.
Oh, it's
What's a roach?
Ashley's Roach Clip.
Yeah, yeah, no, but I mean, what is it? What is a roach clip? I never knew. What
Ah, I think it's something to grab a a
not safe for radio.
yeah. It's one of those older things where it's just a clip to grab a roach per se.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
Well, moving right along to Bustin' Loose.
Mhm. Busting
uh,
loose, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
When
mean,
my dad
obviously, our
he
our
had
generation probably have heard. Well, we've heard it sampled, and I
mhm,
guess Nelly and all kinds of stuff have
yeah,
sort of kept
Nelly.
it going. But I know
Yeah,
you weren't
Nelly's
around,
Nelly's
but
hot in here.
hot in here. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Mhm,
But any story you weren't there obviously during that, but
mhm.
like any stories passed down. You remember your dad specifically talking about creating Bustin' Loose there in '79.
Yeah, I remember he always talked about he had played it for about 2 years before he put it out to perfect exact the sound that he wanted. So he was playing it since about 76 and finally put it out in 78, 79. And then when he put it out, he wasn't really he knew he had something, but he didn't know that it would take off the way that it did. And it took off all over the world. And to this day, like we have people in Japan still contact us, my manager or my family, and just letting us know how much they love the music. So it's when Bustin' Loose hit, man, it was like that really set the tone for go-go music. And plenty bands ended up popping up all over the city and kind of following my father's foundation that he laid.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that Bustin' Loose is like the most iconic probably go-go track that was
Mhm.
ever released. And but you're saying
Yeah,
it was a movement
number
though, like it
number one for about 13 weeks on the
whew,
R&B charts.
oh my gosh, yes. And so that it's kind of cool that because of your dad, going quote unquote mainstream, on different charts on R&B and hitting,
Mhm.
everyone now suddenly knew what the DC sound was. Like a little bit of our, flavor was
Mhm.
getting, people started associating our town with it. It's our homegrown music.
Absolutely. And people know, like, you come to DC, you want to hear, you definitely want to experience go-go, because there's one thing to hear go-go music, but it's a totally different ball game to experience go-go music live.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, which is why everyone has to come to the show this
Yeah.
weekend. All
Come
right, well,
on
so
out.
but
Mhm.
I got a couple more questions if you don't mind. Or we
Yeah,
could
come
end.
on, come on.
All right, cool. So
No,
busted.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Bustin' Loose is a huge hit. And then another one in 84, which is the year I was born.
Mhm.
Just tell me what age I am.
We need
Uh
some money.
we need some money.
Yeah.
Kid and Play and Rex and Effect. So many people have sampled that. But any good
Mhm.
stories on putting We Need Some Money together from Dad?
Yeah, my dad, he told me he wrote it in less than 10 minutes because he
Really?
needed some because he needed some money. He said it's the fastest song he ever wrote. Um he said he already had, some hooks and stuff, but
Yeah.
he during that time, he was like almost like all right, I need to kind of revamp or reinvent himself and
Yeah.
kind of like start over or start anew. And during that time, that's when he was like, you know what, let me write something down. And it's a lot of musical artists, they have these moments where it's like when you feeling something, you gotta hurry up and get it out, because
Right.
it's nothing like capturing something in the moment. So when he wrote We Need Some Money, it took him less than 10, 15 minutes to write the whole song. And then he already had like different horn, so he used the horn line at the end of Bustin' Loose there's a horn line that Leroy, famous, hey Leroy, give me
Yeah.
some of that horn right here. He used his horn player's horn line, Leroy, at the end of Bustin' Loose. He played the main horn line for We Need Some Money. So ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Down. So he's like, oh, okay, that sounds like something else. So he
Yeah.
use that horn line, and that's like the main one of the main lines for the song We Need Some Money. And then, he incorporated, the it's almost a chant whenever we perform it, and people love that. And this main part where he says, MasterCard, Visa, American Express. I ain't got nothing against no credit cards, but the cash is the best.
Cash
And
is always the best. Or nowadays
yeah,
it'd be we need some Venmo, I guess. But
yeah, it needs some cash out or something.
yeah,
But yeah, man, people love that. People love that song as well, and
yeah.
it's just those certain moments that I remember my dad talking about, like, man, that I remember that time, it ain't take me but 10 minutes to write that song, man. I needed some money,
Sometimes it's just as simple. You write about what's real, and in
Yeah.
this moment, I need money. So
Yep, yeah.
perfect.
And it worked because, a lot
Yeah,
of people could relate to,
yeah.
needing some money,
Everybody can relate to that.
yeah, everybody can relate to that, man. So
Well, not everybody, but I don't want to hang out with those people. If you don't need money, I don't want to hang out.
yeah. But majority of people, they can
Yeah,
definitely relate to a
most
lot
all
of
of
the
us
songs
regular
that
folks need some money.
yeah. But when he created that song, it was like, up, he got another hit. So
Yep.
it's cool for
Yeah.
me to come across different people nowadays that, I would hear these stories from my dad, and then other people would have, a story of their own where they might have met my father, or, they might have come across him, or his music affected him in a certain way. And now I'm hearing the other side. It's almost like nowadays I'm hearing the other side of the same story that my dad would say. And it's almost like full circle, like, wow, like I heard this before, but from each person that I hear their own story, it's like they all had their own encounter or own experience with my father or his music. And it's definitely cool, and loving and uplifting to hear everybody almost like he's the people's champion, where it's like
Oh, all
almost
right.
like, yeah, like people have their own stories. And not even like different artists. Like we just did a show with Dougie Fresh, and he tells me all the time whenever I see him, like, man, how much your dad, he's like, your dad, he really influenced me. When I met him back in 85, I just asked him, like, Mr. Brown, like, how do you do it? He was in his 50s during that time, and he was in
Yeah.
shape. And he said,
Yeah.
well, I do my push-ups every morning, I do my push-ups. I got my little routine, I try to stay in shape. He said, ever since, I met your dad, and he said that to me, I'm like, you know what? Let me get on my, health tips. So every morning I do my push-ups.
Yeah.
I ride my bike, and I'm hearing this from Dougie Fresh, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, like, wow, man. And then,
Lottie
I
Dottie.
went,
Got to do some push-ups.
yeah. So it's like, to hear these type of stories from people that, they made it to, the top themselves.
Hmm.
It's crazy how much influence my dad had.
It is. I like what you said. That he was the people's champ long before The Rock. He was your dad
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
If you smell what the Godfather of Go-Go's cooking.
if you smell. Yeah,
Well, no, the
man, for
Godfather was
sure.
a different wrestler, but I digress.
Mhm. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
They were all in the Nation of Domination. Anyway, I could. We're gonna
Yeah,
sidetrack.
yeah,
bring it
it's fine. It's
bring it
fine.
back on track, Jason. But
Mm.
all right, cool. Well, that was a lot of cool backstory of your dad. But now I think that's
Mm.
sort of segueing into now it's sort of like when you're growing up. So I told you I was born in
Mhm.
'84 when We Need Some Money came out. But what year
Wow.
were you born?
So I was born in '89,
'89.
right
Okay,
at the
okay.
right at the end of the '80s. I made the cut. for the '80s babies. But
Still count.
you know,
Yeah.
growing up, man, you know, it took me up until I was probably about 6 years old to really understand what type of impact my father had on people, and you
Right.
know who he was to the area. You know, we'd be riding out and we would get stopped at a red light and people yelling out the car, hey Chuck, let me get one of them tapes. Chuck, come on, take a picture with me. Good. And
Yeah.
I'm confused as a kid. I'm like, why are these people yelling at us?
Yeah. That's
Like,
just that to me,
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
dad.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's daddy. Yeah, why they yelling for the daddy? So then, you know, sometimes he'll get out the car and be talking to these people, and next thing you know, it's a whole mob of people around him, and people honking the horns, and he's like, "All right, we gotta hurry up now. We gotta get out of here." But he'll be, you know, talking to people, signing autographs, and you know, he always talked about how like you know, he appreciate his fans so much because he remember a point in time where the only people who wanted to take a picture of him was the police.
Yeah. My how things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, he said now the police want to take a picture with me.
Oh man. Yeah,
so
exactly.
seeing that growing up, you know, that was like, oh, okay, like I get it now. Like, okay, daddy's an
Yeah.
important man.
Yeah.
And
There was
you
no
know,
simple trip to the grocery store for you. It was
no, man. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we'll get stopped. Sometimes, you know, people will understand he's just chilling.
yeah.
But you know, you know, he always made time for us, you know, even though he was always busy. You know, he made time, make sure he came to our football games and stuff. Me,
Nice.
myself, and my brother, you know, we ended up playing at Virginia Tech, and you know, he even made time to, you know, come to our games out there.
Yeah. Well, I
But
wanted to ask you about that, by the way.
mhm.
The football side, because I used to boss some too. You know, we're all
Oh,
have
nice.
we all have our glory days. But I was up in Northern Maryland. But what high school were you? You know, down there playing ball. What was your high school football team?
Yeah, so myself and my brother, we played at Thomas Stone in Waldorf.
Oh, in Waldorf. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
What
Thomas Stone.
what position were you? Because you went to Duquesne and Virginia Tech after that. But
Yeah, yeah. So I played strong safety
nice.
and
Me too. Well, actually,
yeah, strong safety
outside
and
linebacker, but kind of you would roll up on
yeah,
the strong side. You know.
right, right. So I played it's like a nickel back
Yeah.
outside strong safety. I played running back and ended up going to Duquesne. Played started as a freshman at Duquesne, and you know I wanted to play at a bigger school, so
Yeah.
it came down between I would say North Carolina, Wake Forest, West Virginia, and Virginia Tech. And you know I ended up choosing Virginia Tech. My brother was already there
Was that before or
at
after
Virginia.
Michael Vick was there?
No, so that was after my
Okay.
brother. He was '06, so he came in '06 and graduated 2010, and I came in when I transferred it was about '08, '09,
Okay.
and then yeah, it was like '09, '08, '09 season, and then ended up graduating at 2012.
Nice. Hey, by the way, speaking of football, what were you named after? What there was an NFL Hall of Famer, Wiley Brown, I
Mm.
believe. Were you named after him?
No, I didn't know that. No, I was named after my grandfather's middle name.
Okay, okay.
So his middle name was Wiley, and that's where that came from.
Either way, good
Yeah,
omen that a Hall
yeah,
of Famer was your name. But
yeah, yeah. That's
that's
cool.
cool. And one
Hmm.
more football question. Now I'm thinking about it. So that
Hmm.
means I assume you, right, like me, grew up rooting for the Burgundy and Gold and Joe Gibbs era and all that stuff.
Absolutely, man. Oh, big time Redskins fan. You know,
Yeah.
I still call them Redskins because in my heart they're still Redskins.
It's hard.
So
It's hard to get
it's
come in,
hard, man.
and I know the way the climate is, they'll never go back.
Mhm.
But I want them to change out of Commanders at least, because that name, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
man, it just sounds, I don't know, it's a mouth. Go back to the old uniform colors at least, at the very least.
yeah.
What is this black and
Hopefully,
purple expansion team crap?
I don't know, man. Hopefully they get it. You know, I'm sure Magic will get it. Him and his guys. They'll get it right. So,
Yeah. So wait, if you were
but
born in '89, you probably didn't go to RFK, or maybe really young.
no.
You're more
So
of FedEx
so
Field.
I remember. I remember. I remember like outdoor shows and stuff at RFK. And then
Yeah.
I will always hear about how crazy it was with the sound. They said, you know, my older cousins, they're telling me, man, that stadium used to be rocking, man.
Used
The,
to
the
shake. The
stadium,
bleachers were going,
yeah.
we want Dallas. We
Yeah. He's talking, you know, he talk about how crazy the
Yeah.
atmosphere was. So,
Yeah.
you know, hopefully they can, you know,
Yeah.
revamp RFK and, you know, bring the team back to the city
I
and
would love to
act,
see it back at that spot. I mean, if they,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd have to bulldoze that stadium and build a new one on that same spot or something, but
Yeah, I'm
um,
sure they could figure something out. But
yeah,
big
big
time
time. Yeah.
Redskin fan. And you know, like growing up, my dad, you know, he was a big time fan of Daryl Green
Oh yeah.
and also Lawrence Taylor. So when it came time for me and my brothers to play football, he said, "Yeah, one of y'all get Lawrence Taylor's number, you know,
Yeah.
get that 56."
56 and the other was
And
28. Daryl Green.
yeah, and then my brother Nikos, he ended up
Yeah.
wearing 56. I think he wore 56 a few times when he was playing arena football in the AFL.
Yeah.
That was his main number. And then I never wore 28, but I was going to wear it. And then I ended up wearing like I think I had like number 20. I had 33 a few times. I wore 32
Yeah.
because of Jim Brown, a
Yeah.
big time
20 was Barry
Jim.
Sanders. 33
Yeah,
was
I
Roger
had
Craig, maybe? I don't
Roger
remember.
Craig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well 30, I like 33 because of Scottie Pippen. But
Oh yeah, well, of
yeah,
course. Who never gets
this
enough credit, by the way, when
that's
when
and
you're number two to
that
the
was the
GOAT.
reason why. Yeah, that was the reason why I kind of gravitated towards Pippen more than, you know, Jordan. I used to like Shaq growing up, but
Yeah.
then, you know, I realized like I might not be getting much taller, so let me play football.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Man, what a great era of NBA to watch and NFL, really. I mean, we're just
yeah,
naming these
absolutely.
legends. I missed that era. That was such
Yeah.
good time. I actually went to RFK twice as
Hmm.
a little kid before they moved out of there to FedEx Field.
Wow.
And I saw Jerry Rice one time caught a pass on like one sideline and literally cut horizontal all the way across the field up the other sideline and scored against us. That was a bad memory, but a good memory was they played Dallas one weekend. We were losing, but Dallas we had them backed up like on like the 1 yard line. So we were trying to get a safety. And Troy Aikman fumbles it in the end zone. Emmett Smith tries to pick it up. He fumbles it in the end zone, bobbles it. And then one of our guys, Jason Buck, jumps on it. But anyway, we're just talking glory days. But yeah, Sean Taylor is probably you and I are more like Gibbs 2.0 probably when he came back.
Yeah, I was big time fan of those guys, man. I remember meeting Brian Mitchell when I was little,
Yeah.
and you know, that was a big deal for me meeting Brian Mitchell and Art Monk. And
Oh yeah.
I got Art Monk's autograph when I was 5, and that was like the beginning of me wanting to play football. So like
Yeah.
big time, you know, Redskin fans, man.
Like Art
You
Monk,
know,
man.
my household, my dad, you know, he always say, win or lose, Redskins is who I choose.
Uh, I mean, it was like a way of life rooting for them. And you and I had to endure so many bad teams, and the Dan Snyder era was just not the same as what our dads got to watch. It's not fair.
Yeah. But you
But
know,
hopefully
we
we're
we
back.
got
New ownership now.
new ownership. We got a new quarterback. Hopefully, you know, they protect him and, you know, put some good guys around him. Already got some weapons with you know, Doxson. You got
Yeah.
you know, Terry
Gary Terry.
McLaurin.
Yeah.
Yeah, scary Terry. You got Doxson. You got, you know, the new running back Elkler. And you know, hopefully we get some pass rushes on the other side of the football and tighten up the defense a little bit. And I think they will be great.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that it'll be a new era here for the Burgundy and Gold for sure.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
well,
excited.
I'll try to bring it back. I'll loop it
Mhm,
back around. Here's my
mhm.
segue, and it's a little bit of a bittersweet because the RG3 year 2012, that amazing season, sadly for you, was also the year that your dad sadly passed away, 75.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so what was it like then? Having to take over. Did you take over
Mhm.
Chuck? Did you join Chuck Brown band that year, or was it shortly after?
No, so it kind of was shortly after. So the year my dad passed away, I was a senior at Virginia Tech, and it was kind of rough because I was finally in a position where, I was competing to start. And my mom kind of had a breakdown after my dad passed away. So
Yeah,
I
understandable.
graduated, yeah, ended up graduating from home. I came home to, look after her and make sure she was fine. But still graduated on time. Took some classes at home, make sure I still graduate on time. And then ended up, playing my last year of football at another school, and then came back Virginia Tech to do my pro day and trained with some good guys, some all time, Pro Bowlers, Chad Johnson, Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall, all of these guys when in preparing for my pro day. So
Wait, you trained with
had
Chad
great.
Johnson?
Yeah, well, he was
Ocho
always
Cinco?
around. He was always around at our at the facility. It's called Fit Speed down in South Florida, and
Okay.
this was before Brandon Marshall had changed it over to I Am Athlete, and
Right.
that whole deal. But training with those guys, and had a great experience. Learning from them, and just picking up different pointers and stuff, and had a few teams that was interested in me, bringing me on, Jaguars, Rams, and Colts. And I ended up getting hurt. I came home, check out and look after my mom. And during that time when I was hurt, being around the band is what
Yeah.
kind of, like gave me a different drive. So,
Wait,
you
how'd you
know,
get hurt? With ankle, knee, shoulder?
uh, crazy incident. I got attacked by a pit bull and bit a chunk out my ankle.
Oh no.
Yeah, this was before 2014 draft.
Damn. Well,
So
I don't
yeah.
want to I don't want to
No, it's
bring
fine. It's
bad
fine.
memories, but
Yeah, yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool.
I
But
thought you were gonna say you blew out an
being
ACL on a tackle or something. I
no,
didn't
no,
know
it,
that.
it was just a freak incident. But
Yeah.
I say all that to say being around the band is what really gave me a different drive. And it's like
Yeah.
I music was always there and it was my first love. And I love music before I even knew what football was.
Yeah.
So being around the music again is what really like led me to want to be in the band officially.
Yeah.
And then that happened because I would always, my dad would always let me rap on stage, when I was younger, and I always be on stage with him. But being in the band officially, it started with Chuck Brown Mondays. I would come in and I might do a song or two with the band, and then I just, my dad came to me one day in my dream, and he was like, "Hey, man, what you gonna do, son? You gonna do something? Don't play around with it. Go all full force. And
You really had a dream? He came to you in a dream and said you need to join this band more full time.
well, he came to me and said, if you're gonna do something, go all in with it,
Right.
and don't play around with it. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. He's talking about can't be in and out wanting to do a song or two with the band and not really be all about it. If you're gonna do something, go all in. And
Right.
it goes back to something he always told us all the time was whatever you do, big or small, do it well or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
So it's
You're
like
not gonna break
get
the huddle if it's football. You're not just gonna run
yeah.
a play or two. You're gonna,
Yeah.
play the whole
Yeah.
season.
So, give it your all. And
Yeah.
2016 is when I officially joined the band
Okay.
full time and been doing shows and stuff. And then more recently, I became lead vocalist for the band. So now I'm actually, directing stuff and making
Nice.
sure making sure everything is running smooth, man. So
Yeah.
it's been a progression over the years, but now it's like a totally different energy and I'm excited about it. So
How are the rest of the guys? How's their reaction to, like longtime band members of your dad's? Like, what's
mhm,
their reaction? They're used to taking orders from your pops, and now they're now they're
mhm.
like juniors up here.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny for some of them that have seen me grow up over the years because
Yeah.
it's like, man, I remember when you was a little shorty and you was a
Yeah.
little guy always coming to the band rehearsals, and now look at you now, man. So
Yeah. Now you're
like,
barking orders at me.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, well, no, not barking orders. I take pointers from all of them, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
We uh we building, a good bond, which is cool. But some of the OGs in the band, like Mr. Greg Boyer, he had played with Parliament. He played with Prince after performing with my dad over the years, and he's been with the band for 20 plus years. I think he's been with the band the longest. Mr. Greg Boyer, he plays the trombone, and then you have some other guys like Brad. We call him Big Bad Brad. Brad, he plays the trumpet, and he's always been encouraging me and stuff. And just a good conversation every time I see him. And he's performed all over the world too, man. And we got different band members. A lot of them have already performed with my dad over the years. So we might change them in and out, but majority of the time we have a good core of the band members that most of them have played with my dad.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but the Zoom time limit's gonna run out in like 3 minutes because I don't pay for I need some money.
Hey, we need some money.
We need some money to extend the Zoom. Let's get the paid Zoom. No, but it's fine. You've been generous with your time anyway. I didn't know we go this long. This is great. But I guess sort of like final seconds, bring it back around to the show and everything.
Yeah.
I think it's fitting that the concert is Saturday, and then it's literally the day before Father's Day, and your dad is Chuck Brown. It's kind of all fitting.
Right before Father's Day, definitely it means a lot to me because it's like, I being like growing up being a kid, I always knew that I would be in the music, and I used to say I wanted to be like my dad, but then he'd say, you find your own lane, son, figure out what you want to do. And now it's like, I've played football. I've been in education for almost 10 years, worked my way all the way up to becoming vice principal. And now, now I'm doing music full time and, also real estate and acting. But now it's like, man, it's almost like it's really full circle for me because it's like, man, I always knew I would be here. I just didn't know how I would get here. And now, I'm performing with the band and it's like, it just feels right, it feels right. And sometimes when I think about my dad, I wonder what he would say. And it's just like, very touching and very appreciative of the fans that continue to help us keep this music going, man, because we wouldn't be nothing without the fans. So we appreciate the fans for coming out, and we hope they come on out Saturday, man, and enjoy some more good times with the Chuck Brown band. We keeping the Chuck Brown legacy alive and keeping the music going. So it means a lot to me. It means a lot to the band members and also my family. So we're excited about it. Just to think that it's almost 12 years after my dad passed away and fans still come out as if he's still here. So it's just amazing.
Absolutely. Again, everyone, it is the Juneteenth concert Saturday at Watkins Regional Park in Upper Marlboro, 12 to 5 p.m. Not too far. If you're on Truck Brown Way on 7th Street Northwest,
it's not
just
too
follow
far
it up a little,
go
up over the border to Maryland.
It's not too far from, it's not too far. So.
But that's awesome. All right. Well, just as they said, wind me up, Chuck. Wind us up, Wiley. Let's go.
Yeah, I will.
Hey,
say what now?
Thanks for doing this. We got to bust loose now. We're out of here. See ya.
Show you ride.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.